All right, today's question comes from Mike in Delaware. Mike writes, I have extremely loving and gracious parents. Oh, boy. My parents are offering to upgrade my roof, but I'm afraid of the strings that may come with it later in my life. Wise Mike. The reason for my hesitation is my mother's loose tongue.
Wow.
She makes snide comments from time to time, which makes me not want her assistance. I don't need a new roof yet, but recognize I am very fortunate to have parents that are in a position to help me. How should I go about this? Should I accept a gift or keep my nobility and save up for next summer when I can pay for a roof on my own? I don't think taking a gift from your parents has anything to do with nobility. I think that is your way of giving yourself permission to not be in business with your parents. And when you take money from them, you are in business with your parents. And your mom sounds like she pays a fee for permission to speak into your life, and you get to no longer do business with her. I would not, George. I wouldn't take this money. I would say, hey, thanks. Nope, I'm grown up. I bought my own house. I am going to save up and pay for my own roof. By the way, I don't even need one right now. You don't have to be ugly about it. You don't have to be rude about it. But you've dealt with this your whole life, Mike. Your whole life you've dealt with this. Mom helps you out with something, and then she just has to berate you about it. Man, at some point, yeah, I'm growing up. I'm not taking their money anymore. I'm still going to love them. Still going to go to lunch with them on Sundays. That's great. I'm just not taking your money anymore.
Yeah, I would listen to that hesitation that you have. That's your gut. That is wisdom. And I think this is just pure resentment down the road, one way or the other, if you do take this thing, because you already you're not, the spirit of this doesn't feel right to you. And I'm going to listen to that and say, you know what? I'm going to get myself in a position where I have the money in the bank to cover the roof. I'm going to say, Mom, Dad, love you guys. Thank you so much for offering, but I got this one.
And there's something symbolic. I mean, maybe fixing the carpet or air conditioner or something. There's something about the roof, because there's just always that line. Well, I'm still putting a roof over your head, and there's just something about that.
They're literally putting a roof over your head as an adult.
That gives me the indigestions and the gases. Not quite the hemorrhoids, but that gives me the gas. And I just, Mike, pay for it yourself, man. Pay for it yourself.
I don't want the strings attached. I'm no puppet.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for the question, Mike. It's a good one. Especially with all the boundary issues happening around the holidays. Now's the time to stand your ground and say no, and do it lovingly, but do it firmly.
Thanks for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Common sense for your dollars and cents. Joan's with us in Baltimore. Hi, Joan. How are you?
I'm fine, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so I took your financial peace class in the fall and learned so much, and I'm about ready to start my first class on Sunday, as a matter of fact. And the sad part about it is I can't convince my rockhead daughter to listen to these lessons that I've learned. She just graduated from college. She has student loan debt. She's got about $4,000 in credit card debt. She just got a car, etc. And she wants it all, and she wants it now, but that doesn't work. And so I'm trying to get her to rework her budget and try to come up with a way to knock this debt out while she's still living with me, because I don't want that to happen for too much longer. And I was wondering if you could, try to help me and give her an estimate, 2 years, 3 years, but she's obviously got to stick with it. But
well, she doesn't even want an estimate.
Well, she doesn't, but
okay.
But she will listen if I give her some hard numbers. So,
really? Why? She hasn't listened before. Why would she now?
No, I don't know. I keep praying and hoping. Anyway,
how old is she?
She's 25.
Okay. And what does she make a year?
She just started. She's making $30 a year.
Okay. All right. And how much
Which
does
is a pretty good starting
How
salary.
much did she borrow on her car?
Okay. So the car is $15,000.
Okay. And how much is her student loans?
Her student loans are $46,000.
Okay. All right.
And then she has about $46,000 in credit card.
$4,600. $4,600 or $46,000? Oh, $4,600.
Oh, no, $4,600.
Okay. So $65,000, making $30,000 a year. And she bought a car
Yeah.
she couldn't afford against your wishes. Are you married?
Well, actually, I'm a widow.
Okay. What do you mean actually?
And-
Actually what?
Actually, she was actually in a car and totaled it, so she didn't want to have to buy a car, but. But
Nobody
then I
told her
couldn't-
she had to buy a $15,000 car.
Oh, well, true. I tried to get her to buy like a $6,000, like what the insurance was going to pay her, but you're right.
Yeah. So she bought a car she couldn't afford because you can't afford a $15,000 car when you make $30,000 a year with $46,000 in student loan debt. That's insanity.
Yeah. Right. So then she's making the mistake of putting like $300 into savings, and of course, then she doesn't have enough money at the end of the month and winds up pulling it back out again. So I'm trying to tell her you put $1,000
I have
in.
I have a 26-year-old son who's getting married soon. Okay. But if he were in exactly this situation with exactly these behaviors, or if one of my daughters were in exactly this situation with exactly these behaviors, here's how we would handle it at the Ramsey house. Okay? That's how I know how to answer questions, is only what would I do if I were in your shoes? Okay? I would sit down and say, I am really sorry. I've not done a good job making sure you knew how to handle money, and you are making so many mistakes. It terrorizes me for your future. I love you, and I'm so scared for your future because you are being unbelievably stupid. And it's my fault because I didn't teach you, so I'm apologizing to you for that. That's the good news. The bad news is that I'm going to start requiring some things of you for your own good. And so if you are going to stay here under my roof, you are going to do two things. You're going to put your car up for sale and move into a car that you can afford, and you're going to go through Financial Peace University. If you're unwilling to do that, you have 30 days to move. And I would throw her out. I would throw her out.
Yeah, maybe that's the only way she'll actually get the message.
Because you're enabling her. You know, you're participating in her crazy when you give her a free place to live while she's being stupid.
Right.
And it's not good for her. It's not harming you. And I'm not suggesting you be mean. I'm suggesting you be very kind, gentle, but firm. Because the question you need to ask yourself anytime you're dealing with anyone you love is, how can I help them be the best version of themselves 5 years from now and 10 years from now? Is it to make them uncomfortable today so that they stop doing self-destructive behavior? The answer is yes. I want to make them uncomfortable today so they stop doing self-destructive behavior. When my kids were teenagers, I used to remind them all the time, my job is not to be your friend, and so I really don't care if you're mad at me.
Okay, I've got to get that tough.
Yeah, I can live with you being mad at me because I love you so much that I'm not going to participate in your self-destructive behavior. I love you so much, I'm willing to let you be angry with me for your own good. Does that make sense?
Yes, it surely does.
Yeah, it's about you being loving and strong. It's not about you being a bully or mean or yelling or calling somebody names or something like that. This is just...
Well, that's not my MO anyway.
I know. I can tell you're just a very nice person, and I'm trying to say it's okay to be a nice person, and also part of being a nice person is to want what's best for everyone and cause it to happen.
Right, instead of trying to fix it.
You want this more than she wants it right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's because I can see where it's going to end up with her.
Yeah, she's got a decade of pain ahead of her if she doesn't change these habits. You and I can see that. Because I've been stupid too. I've been stupid too. I got a PhD in DUMB. That's how I can see it. You've made mistakes. That's how you can see it, right? And,
I've made 63 years worth of mistakes, and I'm just now getting it straight. So I don't want her to go through what I went through.
I would just start it with an apology. I wish I had taught you better. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. And I love you, and I love you so much that I am, at this point, I'm no longer going to participate in your decisions that are going to bring you harm. I love you so much, I'm not going to give you a drink. You're an alcoholic. I'm not going to participate in your behaviors that are going to bring you harm. And so you're going to start doing some smart things with money for your own good, or you're going to be on your own figuring it out, because I'm not going to give you a place to live if you're going to be crazy. And it's not because I don't love you, it's because I do love you. And this is how the conversation goes. And that's how it would go down at the Ramsey house. Now, I don't know exactly how it'll go down at Jones' house. You can decide what you want to do, but that's how we do it. And so, but we don't have any grown kids living at home going into debt. We don't have any grown kids living at home doing drugs. We don't have any grown kids at home that refuse to work. We don't have any grown kids at home. Thank you, Lord. We get to see them when they let us see the babies. That's it. Hey, we've all been there. The book is Smart Money, Smart Kids. Hold on, I'll give you a copy, Joan. It was written with my daughter, Rachel, and I, her from the grown daughter's perspective, who had to endure being Dave Ramsey's daughter. Lord help my children, right? And and from the mean old daddy's perspective, yeah, but it's how to teach your kids how to handle money. Smart money, smart kids. And that way they can grow up and be productive and, have a good life because they make better decisions. And it's, it's the stuff we teach them, those of us that are loving parents, when we know to teach them. And sometimes you don't know what to do, but this is how you teach your kids from age 3 to age 33 how to handle money and how to make these decisions like we're doing right here. Well, Dave, that's tough love. No, it's just love. It's just love. It's not any kind of love to participate in someone's misbehavior and support it financially that's going to bring them harm. How can you call that love? It's called enabling. It's a toxic behavior. And so it's not tough love. Show. Well, it's tax day. The day that no one celebrates. I take that back. Actually, there are people that celebrate this day. It would be the CPAs and the enrolled agents that do tax preparation because as of tonight, they are through, and they have just gone through a really stressful, tiring period. Those of you that are endorsed local providers out there in the tax prep business, thank you for what you do, for taking on the task of us not having to deal with all the crap called filling out our taxes. Not only is it unbelievably complicated, not only do most people screw it up, but on top of that, it just pisses me off every time I have to sign off on what we send Washington. So I was going over our tax return with my wife a few weeks back. We filed hers a while back and paid it today, of course, whatever was the remaining that we owed today. And she only has 2 questions when she's looking at our tax return. Now, our tax return's as thick as a freaking phone book. It's ridiculous. She has 2 questions. What do we make? And how much did they take? That's all she wants to know. And both of those are possible causes for problems. What do we make? How much did they take? And it's just devastating. It's amazing. And so, yeah, this is National Whining Day for those of us, the 51% of us that actually do pay taxes. Federal income taxes are not paid by approximately half the population, about 48, 49% in a given year, pay 0 federal income tax. But the other half need to pay their fair share. I never understood that. If you pay nothing, how do you gripe about someone else paying their fair share? I don't get that. It's not a conservative or a liberal thing. It's just doesn't make sense to me. If you paid the same percentage, I make more than you maybe, or maybe you make more than me. If you pay the same percentage I pay, it would be different, but you don't. I pay the highest possible freaking percentage on there because I make a lot of money. And so I send a lot of money, which I really don't mind that part of it. But I do mind when those of you that pay 0 or pay less of a percentage of your income than I do say, I'm not paying my fair share. The wealthy should pay more. My God, I don't know how much more we can pay. Really. And there's not that many of us. If you add us all up together, it doesn't equal anything. So maybe everybody ought to pay something. Would that be fair? If you're driving on the roads and the Army is protecting you and the Navy is protecting you, and you're partaking of federal services like I do, maybe you ought to pay something. $10. What if everybody paid $10? Would that be fair? But 50%, 51% of Americans pay all the taxes, but we don't pay our fair share. Thomas Sowell said it well. He said, I've never understood why it is greed to want to keep the money that you've earned, but it is not greed to want to take someone else's money. Ever notice people screaming, liberal screamers, you need to pay more! You're too greedy. Wait a minute, you're wanting my money. Who's greedy? Who's greedy here? I do not understand that. I don't grasp it at all. Yeah, I mean, it just seems right to everybody ought to chip in something. And I get that taxes are regressive, meaning that even after I pay the ridiculous sum that I pay, which is nightmarishly large, it's more money than I ever thought I would make in my life was my tax bill this year. So yes, I'm whining. But even after I do all that, I've still got a great life. And, you know, if you make $28,000, $23,000 and you're a single mom with 2 kids, and, you know, even after not paying any taxes, you still, you know, it's still hard to buy food. It's still hard to buy lights. And so I don't want to punish you. I get the idea of a regressive tax system. You don't want a tax system because you cut into someone's disposable income is what all I want to cut into. I don't want to cut into their eating money or something like that. And so I'm really technically okay with some people not paying anything because they're broke. I get it. I've been broke. I know how it feels. I made $6,000 one year. I didn't have a tax bill that year. I had other problems, but I didn't have a tax bill that year. And so I get it. I know how it feels. I was back in my 20s when I went broke. So I was happy to not have a tax bill. It helps me get back on my feet and, you know, move on out of there. But I didn't gripe about somebody else not paying enough taxes during those years either. Because I kind of figured I was going to be paying taxes again soon. And I did. So I really do kind of think some of you ought to wake up and go, number one, I'm not going to whine about what other people pay because that's none of your business really. And it is greedy to want other people's money. I mean, taxes are a form of governmental theft if you think about it. You don't have a choice. They put a gun to your head and take your money. I mean, what are you going to do? Not go to jail? I mean, these are your options, right? So it is. And considering I don't support hardly anything on principle that money goes to, I don't mind the military. I don't mind some of the roads and a few other things, but most of the social programs and stuff, that it's just they're have been proven to not work. So I don't like supporting stuff that's proven to not work. If it was a ministry and it was ineffective like that, I wouldn't donate to it. I donate to ministries that are effective and that manage the money that they have well, and they do a great service in the community. If the government was like efficiently run or something, I'm sorry, I was just about fell asleep there in my dream. But if it was like efficiently run or something, I guess we wouldn't whine about it so much. But I mean, I do resent buying $25,000 toilet seats. I resent that. I resent buying $10,000 hammers, and I resent money going to stuff I don't agree with, that are on principle, where the government has taken social stands on things. I resent that. I do. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to the show. It's okay. This is a Dave Ramsey show, so it's all about what Dave Ramsey thinks. That's why we call it the Dave Ramsey show, if you didn't know. It's not about what you think. It's about what I think. And you call in and you ask me what I think. And that's why people listen to the show. Like 15 million of them. So it's okay. If this makes you mad and like you're liberal crazy or something, just you want to turn the dial, just turn the dial. It's okay. It'll be all right. You'll be all right. You don't have to get mad. What is it? Don't go away. Don't go away mad. Just go away. Yeah, it's fine. This is what we do here. And I have to spend at least one segment of the show a year whining about my tax bill. It's just part of my life, and now I've done it. I got it out, and we'll take your calls now in the next segment. Y'all ready? 888-825-5225. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Brett's with us. Brett is in Kansas City. Hi, Brett. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. Thank you for taking my call. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. How can I help, sir?
Well, my car I've held on to it for 12 years. It's on its last leg. So I think I'm going to have to get a new one, but that's not really my question. That's got me thinking. I kind of feel sometimes like I'm addicted to saving, and people tell me all the time that I take it overboard. I need to enjoy my money. And sometimes I agree with that and think that might not be such a bad idea. But then the next day I wake up and think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get where I need to be unless I constantly save. So I kind of wanted to just get your input and give me some direction.
Okay, well, let me kind of give you, before we get into your numbers and the situation there, let me kind of give you a way to know if you're out of balance on something, okay?
Okay.
And the way I look at it is I use ratios, okay? If, for instance, it sounds like you need a new car, and you have saved $5 million, and you're freaking out over spending $15,000 to go get you a good used car, then, dude, you're out of line, you know? Come on. Right? That's a very small percentage of your world. But if you're sitting there, you know, and you got $50,000 to your whole name, and your broke friends are suggesting you're going to go buy a $25,000 car right now, then your broke friends are stupid. Because, see, that ratio is different. You follow me?
Right.
And so, you know, you should always be enjoying and spending some percentage of your money. You should always be saving some percentage of your money. And you should always be giving some percentage of your money. And if you can't do that, then that's where we know we're messed up. So how much is in your nest egg?
My net worth is about $143,000.
Okay. What do you make a year?
I gross 60. I put $5,200 in my 401k a year.
Yeah.
My total expenses a month are about $2,000. That's including I just got a mortgage last year. After all of my 401k and all of my expenses are paid, I have about $1,100 a month that I put in a Vanguard index mutual fund. So I feel like I do a pretty decent job of saving.
Yeah.
I don't.
Are you giving?
Material. Yes.
Okay.
And I don't need a lot of fancy things. I'm not embarrassed by my car.
Right. What do you spend on that's just fun? What do you call fun that costs money?
Well, I like to sing karaoke a lot, so I'll go out on the weekends to the bar.
All right. And so, I mean, that's an indulgence, right? I mean, and so your car is worth, what do you think, today?
Maybe 14, and the repair bill's $1,300.
Yeah. Okay. Probably time to move up in car. So if I said go buy a $7,000 car, would that freak you out?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then then you're right. You're a little bit tight on that part of it because you've got the money in that Vanguard account. How much is in that Vanguard account? 61. Yeah. And so $7,000 is not going to damage your world. I'm not suggesting you buy a $50,000 car, okay? But if you bought a $7,000 car, your world's not going to change. Your future's not going to change or be in jeopardy. And you know, to the extent you can't, and you're sitting there driving a piece of crap that's done. I mean, it's done. You don't spend $1,300 on a $1,400 car. That would just be good money after bad. And so it's time for you to move up a little bit in car and get you something a little bit nicer. By the way, the difference in a $7,000 car and a $1,400 car is not a little bit. It's light years different. But you know, it's time for you to do that. Yeah, you're right. You are probably a little tight on that. But are you completely like over the top, got some kind of savings illness or something? No. You just have a natural tendency towards saving. But make sure you're making reasonable spending decisions, reasonable giving decisions, along with what is borderline unreasonable saving.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that, you'll be okay. You're fine.
Okay, good. I'm trying to get to that $1 million mark. I want to be able to call into your show.
Yeah, you're on your way, man. You're going to make it. You're doing good. You're doing really good. Congratulations. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Ethan, how can we help?
Oh, hi guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You bet. What's going on?
So I'm looking for some advice. Me and my wife just recently got on the Ramsey plan. We're on baby step 2. And I'm a full-time high school teacher. And I've taken a part-time EMS job when I'm out on vacation and on the weekends and stuff. And I do some food delivery to try to just pack as much money as we can to this debt.
Wow.
But I'm afraid that my wife's getting overwhelmed by it. So
because you're not home.
What's going on, man? You're pretty emotional right now. What are you feeling?
It's like a baby Christian. I don't want to be so intense that she's like, oh, you won't let us do anything and this and that.
What's going on?
I don't know how to have that.
What's she saying?
Have that conversation.
Well, take us to what's going on with you guys relationally. What are you feeling from her? What are you hearing from her that you would call us about this?
Well, for instance, she works full time at home. Mm-hmm. We have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so when I'm like, all right, I'm going to go, I have a goal to make $50 a day with food delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
5 days a week, so that's an extra $1,000 a month. And then on Saturdays, I go work this EMS job, which are 24-hour shifts.
Oh man!
And that's an extra $360 each day I do that. And then, but she still is like, well, you think you can stay home tonight so that we can clean the house and get ready for our
Next
Christmas
week.
brunch that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, do you think that maybe you could pick up a little bit of that so that we can continue to stay on plan?
Okay, I see what's going on here.
And then I get kind of negative feedback. Well, so now you're not here to help around in the house and stuff like that. And I don't want to
let me
feel
ask
that
a
way.
couple clarifying questions. When you said she works full time, does she work full time as a stay-at-home mom, or does she work full time at a job that is work from home?
Yeah, a job that work from home.
Okay, but the kids are also there too, so that kind of falls on her as well.
Right, when they're not in school. Like right now, we're on Christmas break.
I totally get that. Okay, and then can you tell me how much debt do you guys have? Because I'm trying to understand. I mean, I get the intensity, but I just want to get a bigger picture.
Okay, so we have about $26,000 in cars and credit cards.
Break it down.
And
what's the cars and what's the credit cards?
My wife's car's almost paid off. It's got $3,000 left. My truck's got $11,000 left, and then we have about $15,000 in credit cards.
Okay.
And then another $10,000 around that I owe to my mother-in-law.
So
to my stepmother,
what's the
I guess.
payoff date if you didn't miss any night scheduled? You've got this thing figured out. If you stay on this pace, what do you anticipate the day would be? How far in the future before you pay off this debt?
I told my wife we can do it in 6 months. Not our house. I have a house.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So let me just tell you, hey,
23 on that.
so Steven, man to man here, I love this intensity, but this is a 6-month window. It'd be different if this were a 6-year and you guys had to be that intense. I love the intensity. I think you have to downshift in moments like this. When your wife is giving you the signal, you read it, man. You've been married long enough, going after it. But if there's a holiday party in the situation you gave us, I think the answer, and this is not criticism, you called. So I'm going to tell you as a dude, just my take here in that situation, you take the night off from gazelle intensity and you jump in and help her out.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you guys were in much bigger debt and it were far more intense, I think there's a conversation to be had to say, hey, babe, I got to do this. We got to be all in. But I think given this situation, I don't think this is 3 or 4 nights a week. I think you sit down with her and go, hey, I'm doing this to sprint, hang in there. But if you need that kind of emergency situation, raise your hand, and I'm going to be more sensitive next time, and I'll jump in. That would be my take in this situation.
What's you guys' combined income yearly? You mentioned all the things you're doing, but what does that amount to?
So that's recent, the EMS job and stuff. But so right now we make about 110 gross together, just at our regular jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to bring in. I got planned to bring in $3,000 extra a month, so about $30,000 more, so maybe about $140,000.
Fantastic.
If I stay on this track.
Okay, so you're basically saying our normal budget stays the same, and I'm side hustling to pay off. I get it.
That caused a little trouble too, because then we stripped the budget way down as well. We cut off some streaming services.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It almost needs to be one or the other, because you've got $39,000 of debt, and you just outlined a plan where you're side hustling to bring in an extra almost $40,000. So if the side hustling alone is paying off the debt, then like I'm trying to find a way where you guys can balance this out a little bit more. Does that make sense? Because
I understand.
If you're gonna bring in $40,000 a year and this is a full year play, as opposed to you just trying to, like, to Ken's point, just squeak this thing out in 6 months, I do think that, you know, if you can get her on board, fine. But like Ken said, you know, if she's having these moments where she's throwing a flag on the play, like, listen, we haven't seen you. We don't even remember what you look like, dude. Like, you do have to cool out for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I think there's room for you to take the pedal off the metal just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, great. Because I don't want to burn her out. So I guess that's what
smart.
I was looking for, to say.
Your instincts are right.
Yeah, she's like a baby bird.
Like,
sometimes you got to get them to keep
keep
coming to you.
Stephen, I think your instincts are right. You called us. We're validating your instincts. Your instincts are right. You're pushing really hard, and it's affecting her. And you don't want to lose her and in the midst of this cause. The cause is not as important as her and the kids.
Right,
so,
because it's not. At that point, what's the point?
Especially during this season.
That's right. But listen, my man, she seems to be all in. We heard no signs of her not being all in. It's just, hey, we got a holiday party and I'm swamped with the kids and I'm exhausted. You know, I also think it's important for you to show some appreciation to her for her being all in. And you know what? Maybe take a night coming up in the next couple weeks and totally surprise her and say, hey, babe, here's a little money that I've been making on the side hustle. Go out with some of your best girlfriends. Have a nice night. I'll take care of the kids.
All right, Ken Coleman.
Do you know what? I mean, what do you think, Jade? I think that's a teamwork play.
That's a teamwork play.
Because I'm honoring all the moms out there, because my wife has done both. Stacy has fluctuated between being a work out of the home and a work in the home. Notice I say work in the home because that's a lot of work. And there are times where it's really good, guys, for us to just acknowledge the partner in the situation and say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you being on board.
And what it is when you're going at that pace, you have to ahead of time say what the milestones are going to be.
Yes.
When we pay off this car, we get this.
Right.
When we do this, and it sounds like they don't have those milestones in place, and that is so important.
You need like a cheat day. You know, these big time athletes.
That's right.
Like I follow The Rock. No big deal. You know,
Listen,
I like
those
The Rock.
cheat meals.
Have you seen the man's cheat meals? It's pretty fantastic. So even one of the greatest athletes, actors, you know, get after it guys in the world, you got those down days. I think mama needs a little time off every once in a while, and you can fund that. And then we keep going with great momentum. Stephen, you're a good man and a good husband.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hi. So a little bit about my situation. I just turned 50 last month.
Cool.
I have been engaged for 8 years. My fiance and I, we have a daughter together. She's 7 years old. I have 2 teenagers from my first marriage, and my fiance has 2 adult children. And here's my question. So I'm increasingly becoming a little worried about my future. I don't work. My fiance and I agreed that I should, stay at home with my daughter. And my 2 other kids, they live with us. He's the primary breadwinner. He owns 3 houses, and they are all in his name. He had 1 house before we were engaged, but he has since purchased 2 other homes, neither of which I am on the title. I drive a car that's in his name. My phone is in his name. I have absolutely nothing in my name. And in addition to that, he will not be transparent with me. Like if something were to happen to him, like he won't show me the will. I'm just becoming really insecure, I guess, in my relationship, but in my financial situation as well. And I just don't know what to do at this stage.
You don't want to
I
be.
feel like I'm very in the dark.
You are in the dark.
You are in the dark. I'm insecure for you.
Me too. Go ahead, John.
How can we help? I don't know what you're asking. If you were my sister, I would tell you to pack up everything you have and go get an attorney today. Mm-hmm. It's been 8 years.
You're not married yet. You're still engaged?
We are not married. We are.
But Colorado's a common law state. But it's also, jeez, it's a mess. This is an absolute stone mess. Yeah. How can I help you? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, if I were to leave the relationship, basically I'm guessing I am not entitled to anything but perhaps child support.
I think I'm not a legal expert, so I can't give you legal advice, but I think that's wildly inaccurate. I think after a certain time, again, don't hold me to this, check with a licensed attorney in your state, but I think once after you pass a certain point, there's property that y'all earned, quote unquote, together, whether you were putting money in the pot or not, because the house doesn't run without you, right? And so that allowed somebody to go earn some money. So, but sit with an attorney and work through all that. I want to go back to something you just said. You said, if I were to end this relationship, like my friend Michelle, like your relationship's over. Y'all can build something new from here and decide you're gonna do this thing right. But what you like to allow somebody to take care of a child with as little information as you have, as to hang somebody out to dry like this. This is not a relationship. This is not a partnership. This is a really messy power trip is what this is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like there's just so much control. I feel like there's like this hierarchy of power, and I feel like I'm at the very bottom of that. So I am in complete agreement, which is why I am just so frustrated, which is kind of like the reason for my call.
Yeah, but you're frustrated about bigger stuff than this. I mean, there's no way that y'all have a great intimate life. There's no way you have a great, y'all are friends, that y'all hang out. Because friends, like I wouldn't do this with my buddy, right? Like my buddy Todd was my college roommate. He knows where my will is, right? He knows the role he plays in my will. And he's just a friend. He's not my wife, right? I mean, this is just common decency.
Right.
And he won't even give you that. So y'all have deeper issues here. You got to bite the bullet and go get an attorney. And if you have a couple of friends in town that you could reach out to that would recommend somebody that would be good and fair and give you honest advice and not rake you over the coals, man, that'd be my next step.
And if we were to try to repair our relationship,
you're not repairing anything. The car has been totaled. You would have to build something completely new.
Okay.
And that begins with you saying, here's what I want, and here's what I need, and here's what I'm worth in terms of a relationship. And somewhere along the way, over the last almost decade, you've decided that your voice doesn't matter almost as much as he does.
When did this start? When did you start feeling this way?
I've started feeling this way the past few years, but as I turned 50, I have just felt really worthless.
Yeah.
Just because I don't feel like I have anything. And like I said, like I think for me, when I turned 50, I kind of like hit a corner. I'm like, I don't know how long I have, but I mean, if he were to walk away or if something were to happen, I am really fearful that I would, have to start at the very, very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, obviously I need to get a job and I need to get my life together.
But I think your fear is very warranted.
Okay. Well, I
I'm scared
really
for
appreciate you confirming that.
Yeah, I'm scared. Let me confirm it this way. You're not crazy. If you were my friend, I would tell you you're crazy for sticking around for 8 years because you've allowed this to happen.
Right.
True that.
I have. I mean, it is on me. That is absolutely for sure.
But the beauty of
right.
that is once you take ownership of that, next step's on you too.
Okay.
Right? Go call an attorney.
Thank you so much for your...
You got it. Oh yeah, man, we love you. Call anytime we can help, but call an attorney and get that process going.
My goodness. I'm almost glad that we're going to a break, because this is the third time in a very short period today that I've just heard and been on calls where men are tripping.
Yeah.
And I want to go. I want to go so hard in the paint right now, but I can't. But I just need these guys to get in line and understand that they need to love their families well, and they need to do better.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Chris is in Hartford, Connecticut. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing today, sir?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up in your world?
Okay. I've got a moral question for you. It's not so much a numbers question for you, because I've recently found my walk with Jesus, and I went through something with my family last year where my I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional, sir.
It's okay. No problem.
I apologize.
No problem.
Last year, I found out that my then wife was being unfaithful.
Oh.
I had asked her directly for the truth on several occasions, and I never got it until it was too late, and she couldn't reel me back in. And we've got 2 little kids, and basically, I'm not financially obligated to her. Just to keep it vague here, I got a property down the street that I rent. I'm very involved in my children's lives. It's a 50-50 custody agreement. But my struggle has changed. I'm working my baby steps. I'm on baby step 2. I've paid off 17 of 30,000 that I owe.
Good for you.
And I'm making traction very much because of your work, sir. So thank you.
Good for you.
So the question that I have is that since my financial situation has turned around as much as it has, I don't know where. I've never been in a situation like this in my life. I don't know what is an appropriate amount to help her, because I know that she's still working the same job. I don't think she's making any more, and when we were together, she was struggling. But this is somebody who is very dishonest to me, randomly gets very vicious with me. I'm not trying to say that I've been perfect, sir. I've got a lot of things that I need to ask for forgiveness for in this life, but I don't think I deserved any of that.
I understand. So, basically, you're divorced. Do you have any obligation on any of the debts that she has?
I help her with $100 a month towards a car.
Why?
No big whoop, but that's it.
Why? Is that part of the divorce settlement?
Well, when I was broke and we were splitting up, I promised her that I'd help her with it.
Okay, so you promised her, but you don't have that in the divorce decree.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, it's in the decree.
Oh, it is in the decree. Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's just a property sale. That's
right.
all that I owe.
Is your name on the car?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if the car is not paid, you've got a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Because they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other debts that she's supposed to pay in the divorce decree that have your name on them?
That was the first one that I took care of, that we had a co-debt on, a debt consolidation loan, as you call it.
Are there any other co-debts that she is responsible for right now?
My name comes off of the mortgage, off of the house that we had together this month.
How?
It's in writing. It's legal. We've been working together on it, so I know.
No, it's not. It's not legal. Your name doesn't come off of the mortgage unless the mortgage has been paid off or refinanced.
Oh, it's getting refinanced. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Now that works. All right. So your name comes off the mortgage. Are there any other co-debts?
No.
Okay. Good. So how much is owed on her car?
I think it was a $15,000 car.
Is that what's owed on the car?
I would have to ask her what the balance is currently. I know that she's current with it and has never missed a payment on it.
Okay. That wasn't what I asked.
I'm sorry, sir.
That's okay. How much debt do you have in your debt snowball?
I've got 30 left out of the 47.
You told me that. Okay. You're making really good progress. Congratulations. The first moral obligation and the only moral obligation you have is to take care of your children.
Okay.
Your ex-wife is not your responsibility. That's why they call her your ex-wife. You have a moral obligation for $100 a month, and you have a legal obligation for $15,000 on that car if she doesn't pay it. So you got a real common sense obligation to make sure that gets paid one way or another, or gets sold, one of the two. I think you're going to concentrate on you building wealth and being generous in general, and that includes certainly taking care of your children, and that's where I would spend my financial energies if I were in your shoes.
Hey guys, Rachel Cruz here. Hope you enjoyed that video from the Dave Ramsey Show. If you want to watch another great video, check out my video, 3 Things You Should Consider Renting, right over here, or click the link in the description below.
Brought to you by Zander Insurance. Compare rates from top term life insurance companies in seconds at Zander.com.
So back when I was going to college, my parents and I took out student loans to pay for them. When taking out the loans, there was no conversation about me having any responsibility for the parent portion of the loans. Now, 6 years later, my parents are blaming my sisters and I for not having any money in retirement and for filing bankruptcy and saying that after all of that, we're going to have to take over the loans because they shouldn't have to worry about that this time in their lives. And I told them no, but that caused a bunch of arguments, and I suggested family counseling, and that was rejected too. And I guess just want to know, are we in the wrong? Having tried to help them, it seems like they have no willingness to change and letting money come between the family.
Now, what they've done is gross to put that on you. You are not the solution to their financial mess, and they're just in a real pickle and looking at their pile of debts going, well, if the kids didn't cause all of this harm to us, we would be in a very different place. The truth is they have been reckless for a long time with their money. They didn't have a conversation about what was going to happen with college and student loans. They decided to take on all of the debt in their name only with this Parent Plus loan with crazy high interest, and now they want to pin it on you when they're in a bind. I'm not buying it. And I'm guessing the relationship with your parents has not been great for a long time.
That is correct, yes.
It's been transactional and very, well, look at what we did for you, and this is what you have to do for us. And I'm also guessing there's a lot more debt laying around here than just these Parent Plus loans.
I only recommend term life insurance because it's simple, affordable coverage. And you should get it only from Zander Insurance because they work for you, not the insurance companies. Zander compares all the top term plans to save you money so you don't get ripped off with insurance that they market like a so-called investment. Term from Zander is the only life insurance I would get from my family. It's all I've ever bought and all I've ever recommended. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282.
I'm also guessing there's a lot more debt laying around here than just these Parent Plus loans.
That, as far as I know, yes. They're never open about it. So I wouldn't know for sure, but the bankruptcy wouldn't even impact
bankruptcy does not discharge student loans.
Right. So why would they do it if it was only the student loans?
Exactly. Do you know anything about their financial picture?
I don't know exactly. No. They've never been open about it.
This is just so warped. The way you describe this, I just think you need such clear and very high boundaries that are in stone, like concrete boundaries, not flexible plastic fencing boundaries. This is just so weird, and I think there needs to be a real clear, clean boundary established and walk away from this nonsense. Because this isn't just coming at you; they're coming at your sisters too. You said so. This is so unhealthy and I use the word warped on purpose. You got to make a clean cut for now and hope for healing. Hope for something. But there's nothing you can do anyway. So them putting this guilt trip on you because they're desperate, and I'm not. I don't want to be too critical, George, of the parents. It is warped. It's crazy unhealthy. But they are hurting and they're desperate. This smells of desperation.
That's usually when you go to blame everyone else, is when you're backed into a corner like this. And so the best thing you can do is be kind, be firm, be respectful, set the boundary, and let them know, hey, listen, I'm not in a position to pay this back. We never had this conversation. There's nothing in writing saying that we were going to be obligated to pay this debt. You guys decided this is how we're going to help and, quote, pay for school, and therefore it's your responsibility. And if you're in a position to help, if you're going, hey, we got the money sitting in savings and we want to morally do this, that's fine, but you have no legal responsibility to pay this back. And I wouldn't let them guilt trip you into saying, well, if mom and dad are going to be homeless unless you foot the bill. I'm not buying that either.
Yeah, I agree. It just feels so manipulative. Let's see if we can get Eric in. Eric is in Atlanta, Georgia. Eric, how can we help?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. What's going on today?
Hey, so I have a pretty personal question here. So I would say I'm pretty far well off in terms of financial stability. My question is if I should save for an extra rainy day, and that extra rainy day meaning marriage and future kids, most likely, or should I be a little bit more selfish with my spending and just kind of boost my own standards of living?
Well, I want to release you from the selfishness. Let's find option C, where it's not save for a fictitious family. I don't know what we're saving for, or save for me to buy a nice car. What's going on financially with you? Do you have a bunch of money laying around?
Well, let's see. My net worth is right around $350,000.
Okay.
And I already have a house that's already paid off as well.
Amazing.
And
you got an emergency fund?
The emergency fund is pretty much whatever is in my high yield savings.
Yeah. How much is there?
Really? $200,000.
$200,000?
Yeah, that's what I put in my high yield savings for the maximum ROI on interest.
Okay, but I like money to have a goal, and that is way beyond a 6-month emergency fund for you. And so what would be your next goal? Are you saying, hey, I don't really have one? I have a paid-for house. Are you investing 15% or more of your income at this point?
Yeah, 15% is already invested into retirement funds each year.
Okay, you sound like you are the eternal saver, and so it might be time to upgrade some things in your life reasonably. We're paying cash. We're not going to have this be a large portion of our world. But if you want to buy a few nice toys, go for it.
Yeah, but he's in such a position that I'm not worried about him having money for a future family.
Yeah, you're fine. It's a line item in the budget.
Yeah.
A family doesn't show up and you go, I need $100,000. It's just a line item.
That's true.
For a ring,
You're doing
and then
good.
for a wedding, and
Yeah.
you'll have the savings ready to go, my friend. I'd get out there. I'd get out of the house and start meeting some people. Maybe find a nice lady.
There we go.
If anyone depends on your income, you need affordable term life. Never cash value insurance. Visit Xander.com today for quotes. Evan is with us in Kansas City. Hey, Evan, what's up?
Hey, Dave, I got a heck of a mess on my hands, and I could use your advice on how to tackle it.
We'll try. What's up?
Okay. So my mom has pretty well squandered all her money her whole life. About 5 years ago, she inherited $400,000 from my grandparents, and between my siblings stealing it and her squandering it, it's pretty well all gone. And she never has really taken care of herself her whole life. And my siblings want to have a conversation on Thanksgiving about putting her in a nursing home because her health is that bad. And I'll be honest with you, Dave, I'm just to the point I don't want to pay for it. I mean, she's made a lot of horrible mistakes in her life. I have too. I'm on track to pay off all my debt in the next 6 months. And I'm kind of wondering how you would best approach that conversation or that situation.
I'm sorry. How old is she?
She's about 62.
Ancient.
What
She's
is she?
my age.
Well, what's her health condition? Because you said that she's in
Wow.
bad health. What is it, like early Alzheimer's, or is it what?
No, it's very overweight. I mean, she got so heavy one point her knees started to hurt, and so instead of losing weight, she bought an electric wheelchair so she didn't have to walk anywhere, and it's going downhill pretty fast. My sister lives with her now, and it's to the point where she can't take care of her, and it's this. I know I've seen this coming. I don't know if my siblings have, but I have seen this coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Is she is destitute? She has no money.
Yep.
No house,
Well,
no
I don't know
property,
how much
no
is
money in
left.
an account.
Well, so here's she does own a site at a campground, and she does own a house. So I do know we could sell that for a little while, but that's only going to last so long.
Okay.
Because the house isn't worth anything. I mean, we can get maybe 20,000 out of it, and maybe 2,000 or 3,000 out of this campsite that she owns.
Yeah. Okay. So she doesn't have. Okay. So here's the thing. What you guys need to study, and you need to do a little study on it before you get to Thanksgiving, is there's welfare nursing home. It's called Medicaid. Okay? And it will not take her house. It will make her sell the campground and apply that. But after that, Social Security basically Medicaid pays for her nursing home. And she goes to a Medicaid nursing home. It's government funded. Now, it's not as fancy schmancy as if you're paying $80,000 a year to be there, Okay.
Yeah.
But she'll be okay. I mean, they'll feed her and take care of her, and if she needs care, she can go into a Medicaid nursing home, and it sounds like that none of you are multimillionaires.
No, I'm probably the most financial off, and the part of the issue too is, I mean, we're having this conversation at Thanksgiving. A few days later, very soon later, I deployed to Europe.
Okay, so you're not going to be involved in terms of physically. You're not going to be there. So
and I can't be in the discussions. I'm not going to be in the sort of thing.
Well, you can be in discussions unless you're on some kind of a mission that doesn't allow communication with your family, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you for your service. I'm sorry you guys are facing this, because it's it puts a knot in your stomach, because on the one hand you got her misbehavior and your siblings' misbehavior with her money and all that, and on the other hand it's your mom. Right? And so and it doesn't matter how much she screwed up, she's still your mom. And that doesn't stop happening. So it breaks your heart in two, because one side is saying this is ridiculous, and the other side is, she's your mom. And so I'm sorry you guys are in this position, but I would just simply tell everybody we're going to Medicaid. Just find a Medicaid nursing home and put her in it. It's that simple if she needs care, because none of you can afford to fund it.
Yeah.
Do you think...
So the question also I would have is, she hasn't had a job in 20 years. Would that affect any of the Social Security, Medicaid, anything like that?
Nope. She'll still get the Medicaid.
Okay.
But again, you need to read up on what the exceptions are. They used to be you could keep a home with value equity up to $78,000, and you could keep a certain amount of dollars in your checking account, and beyond that, they would provide. I don't know what the numbers are today. I haven't looked it up in a while, but no ancillary things like campgrounds or whatever. So you're going to be selling that and giving it to them, to the nursing home. But that won't even last a month, so it doesn't matter. So,
well, and if between you and me, Dave, I'm going to argue that the house goes too. I mean, if we're
that's fine.
At this point, there's no reason to have it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I think you just go, look, none of us can afford it. And Medicaid is the option, and this is how we're going to take care of her. And then you don't have to get in a big, you used up all her money, you stole all her money, and she misbehaved, and she's not taking care of her. You don't have to get into all that. You just take care of her, plug her into that. It's the only thing you can do. I'm sorry you're facing it. It's awful.
Brought to you by CHM, a biblically based alternative to health insurance. Learn more at chministries.org/budget.
My question is, am I in the wrong because I don't want to go on a spring break trip with my husband and daughter to visit their sick grandma?
Ooh, wow. Okay, what's the heart behind it?
Yes, you're wrong.
Is there more context
Give us more
here,
context.
or is that it?
The context is we're in baby step 2, and we had already invested about $800 to get a plane ticket for just my daughter to go out and visit Grandma. Grandma has been battling cancer for years, and she's probably on her last year. And so we definitely wanted her to spend time with her, but that's what we had discussed. And then today my husband says, well, why don't we all go? And I'm just not sure that's the right thing to do.
So he's going with her without you to see his mom.
Sounds like it. The other, it's his grandma, so my daughter's great grandma.
Okay.
And the stipulation, I guess, that's important is grandma's willing to foot the bill
to pay for our tickets.
Okay. Can she afford that?
She can.
Okay.
She's got a paid off house. You know, she's invested well. She's ready to spend her money at the end of her life. But, you know, my thing is I'm missing out on an opportunity to earn money when it's spring break. I'm a school teacher. And so when I'm on break, that's a great time for me to pick up extra jobs and make more money. And my son can still go to daycare. But I am going to miss out on the opportunity to make money and pay off our debt if we go on this trip.
How much are you talking? I mean, how much can you earn in a week?
$500, $600.
How much debt are you guys in?
We've got $11,000 in a car that should be paid off by March due to cashing out a whole life plan. And then we have my husband's student loans.
How much is that?
$60,000.
Okay. So the current trajectory, when is all of this debt going to be paid off? All $71,000 with your household income?
If I continue working, then in 18 months.
Okay. And if you skip this extra week of work that would have amounted to $500, it would slow it down to 17.7 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and Noelle, hold on.
I just want to make sure that's really what we're talking about.
No, this has nothing to do with that. You're mad at your husband.
Yes.
Because you want to stay at home and you're having to work to pay off his student loans. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You have to get to the root of this thing. Because on its face, let me just say, you can feel however you want to feel. Your feelings are yours and you get to do them. And there's lots of spouses that go visit family members that don't want to, but they do it. And if it's grandma's last year of her life and she's offering to pay to fly everybody to say goodbye one more time, then if you can do that, I would say do that. But you've got to address your anger. And maybe it's not wholly at your husband. Maybe it's at just life and you love him and you're glad you married him and all this stuff, but it just is what it is, what it is. You need to address that because you're creating a life that you are resentful of. Does that make sense?
That sounds true.
Am I okay? So okay, I was just gonna make sure I'm not crazy. So have that conversation with yourself and with him, because right now for him, he thinks he just figured it out. Oh, we can all go, and it's gonna be free for us.
Got it.
I mean, and if you don't want to go and you need to work and you've already committed, spring break's just a few weeks from now. If you've already committed, then say, I got to meet my commitment. And if this is the last year, we're all going to be going back anyway for the funeral, in the next year. So if that's the case, that's the case. But I'd much rather you deal with what's really going on here, which is you're stuck in a situation, having to work when you want to be home with your baby, and it's real frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me I'm bananas.
You're not.
Okay.
I think you were able to justify
the tension in my body.
Yeah, I can hear it through the phone, man.
You've been trying to justify it by going, well, we're in debt. I could make more money. It will speed it up. And we just proved with math that it's 0.3 months of, it's really not about that. But I do think relationships are not convenient. Family is not convenient. Health crises are not convenient. And that's a part of life on the baby steps. And so we would tell you, hey, if this is really important to your family, you might need to just pause and take the trip and let it slow it down by a few weeks. And we'll make it up on the back end. But right now, I think you might need to be there for your husband.
Or the other side, if being around grandma and her family, aunts and uncles are going to be there, make you sick to your stomach, they've said ugly things about you, whatever, then have that honest conversation, because it's going to be bewildering to your husband who doesn't know that you are this against going, or you're this frustrated with the life that you're leading, and he's not going to be able to figure out over $400 or $500 that you may earn over a spring break week. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. I think I need to be honest with myself about where the anger is coming from and have that conversation.
There you go. And if you get to the end and you still don't want to go, don't go. But just be honest about why you're not going. And if every George, this is kind of epidemic levels of people opting out of family because they're annoying or sometimes you just go. Sometimes you go and you sit by your husband, you sit by your wife, and you hold their hand and make sure they're not alone when they're going through a really hard moment, right? And again, you and I don't know if this grandma meant to him, if
it's hard for her husband to share this, that, hey, here's really why I want you to go.
Yeah. What I'm guessing is happening is he sees how stressed she gets and how frustrated she gets when she has to work this extra week, and he thinks he just solved it. He's like, oh, dude,
all
vacation,
expenses
paid trip, and I get to see grandma, but we get to go to Texas. And she's like, I hate all of my life and you, and not really hate, but you know what I mean. So yeah, sometimes getting to the root of the issue is where we got to go.
Absolutely.
CHM isn't health insurance. It's a health cost-sharing ministry. Check it out for yourself at chministries.org/budget.
Thanks for joining us. Well, MSN reporting Americans now owe over $1 trillion on our cars. Americans in the U.S. owe a collective $1.07 trillion in debt on their vehicles, according to Experian. The amount is a record high, and as interest rates increase and monthly payments become less affordable, it could create headwinds for lenders. Auto loan demand has been an important source of revenue for lenders and automakers. However, rates are increasing now that the Federal Reserve is tightening rates, and that could pose a problem for cash-strapped consumers. Despite stretching the payments out, Experian reports that the average new car loan in the fourth quarter increased to $30,621, a record, and that the average monthly car loan is now $506 a month in America. And the typical borrower, about 32% of the borrowers, 1 out of 3, chose a 73 to 84-month loan last quarter. And despite stretching the payments out to lower the monthly bill, the percentage of delinquent auto loans is on the upswing. Well, no kidding. Our obsession with cars in this culture is over the top. Now, I'm a boy, I like cars. I've got some nice cars. I'm not against you having a nice car. A $30,000 car loan with a $500 a month payment is what's called stupid. Financially, mathematically, moronic. Because let me tell you what a $30,000 car is worth 4 years after you buy it. $11,000. Now, if you want to take a $30,000 car and turn it into an $11,000 car, that's fine. You need to be able to afford to do that. I've certainly lost more than that on the vehicles that I own in the last 48 months. I, however, can afford it. And the reason I can afford it is I haven't had car notes. Because car notes will keep you from becoming wealthy. The car payment is the mantra of the middle class. If you want to be sure you stay stuck financially in the middle class or lower middle class, keep a stupid car payment. That'll pretty much guarantee it. Because $500 a month invested from age 30 to age 70 in a decent growth stock mutual fund in your Roth IRA is over $5 million on average. That's what that car payment is costing you. And then we get to retirement and we say, I sure hope the government, which is well known for its ability to handle money, will take care of me. This is straight up stupid, people. And it's getting nowhere but worse. Ford and General Motors have bounced back on your back. They went down during the Great Recession, and their sales are up on your back. And they make more money lending you money than they do selling cars. When are you going to realize this? And until you do realize this and stop it, well, you're always going to have a car payment, says the loser. You hang out with losers, that you're going to be one. Be careful who you run around with. Always going to have a car payment. $30,621 and $506 car payment over 73 to 84 months is the average now. If this doesn't sound like stupid on steroids, I don't know what does. This is unbelievable. $1 trillion in student loan debt, $1 trillion in car debt, and you scratch your head and wonder why in the richest country the world has ever known, the most industrious, inventive group of people on the freaking planet, and we sit here, a bunch of us broke. It's ridiculous. You make so much money in your working lifetime. But $1 trillion in student loan debt and $1 trillion in car debt, you don't think that puts a drain on the economy? You don't think that puts a drain on the average household? Well, it keeps you from being worth $5 million more than you would have been worth when you retire. That's the average, which means that half the people are above that. Half the people are worse than that. Which means that some of you that are listening to me right now have $700 car payments. Some of you have 2 $500 car payments. Get a mirror and look at what stupid looks like. That's straight up stupid. There is no possible way you can build wealth doing that. You can't earn enough money to outrun stupid at that pace. It will tackle you from behind. You have got to stop and look at this mathematics on this. It is crazy. Crazy. Guys, you can live your dreams in this. You can live your dreams in America today. You can do anything you want to do, be anything you want to be. You can build wealth. Every one of you listening to me could be millionaires. Every single one of you listening to me could be a millionaire. But not with $500 car payments, you won't be. Not with car payments at all. And so this whole idea of the largest thing you buy as consumers that goes down in value, a car. Now, again, if you'll just drive like no one else, just drive, get you a hoopty. Drive like no one else. Later, you can drive like no one else. When you're a millionaire, you can go buy a car and write a check for it, and it can go down in value, and you won't notice it. But it's not that big a percentage of your world. But some of you, your entire freaking net worth, you're riding in it right now. And it's going backwards in value. While you're sitting at the stoplight trying to impress that person you will never meet, you just lost $1,000. It's crazy. You cannot get ahead like that. You've got to stop it. $1 trillion in car debt in America now. I will always have a job. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. So, John, it's been at least 6 to 9 months since I've really pissed somebody off about COVID. So I'm way overdue.
Oh, good.
But I'll tread as gently as I can. We're talking at the break, and we're talking about Bridget, and what was the low point for her was the summer of 2020 when her company's laying people off, being furloughed. She didn't know if she's going to lose her $100,000+ a year job. Instead, she ends up getting a promotion, so it nets out. We've got this company with 1,200 team members. The leadership team here is scratching and clawing, and entire segments of our revenue just evaporated, and we've got the responsibility to these 1,200 families that we promised them we were going to pay them, and the stress on our leadership team of carrying that. My friend Craig Groeschel just did a podcast leadership. He does a leadership podcast. I was on it a little while back. I'm getting ready to be on another one, but he just did one I listened to this week. He talked about how people were depleted, and that we need to, as we lead out of this pandemic, we need to be replenished. We need to be refilled, filled back up. Our gas tank's empty. The gears are grinding. There's no oil in the crankcase. There's no lubricant in our lives anymore. We got nothing left. And in the middle of that, the economy goes bonkers with inflation and with job opportunities. There's labor wars. So people are fighting over you to pay you more, but they want to work you more than you've ever worked in your life in order to get that pay. And so we went from scared to death, trapped at home, sitting on zero, to 220 miles an hour with no lubrication in the engine.
That's right.
And so we've got a whole bunch of people out there that are completely depleted, and they're going to smoke. The engine's going to smoke. It's going to blow.
Yeah, and if you back out and say, our friend Jocko talks about this, there's been no ownership of the good or the bad. You have to acknowledge what happened to you negatively.
It became politicized as to whether they were right or not to do the quarantine, right or not to do social distance, right or not to make me clean the office at $60,000 a swipe by the CDC guidelines, and then they come out later and say it doesn't help at all.
Right.
After I spent $250,000 cleaning the freaking office, so people back at work, and people still sending us hate mail and bomb threats
That's right.
in the building because we dared to be at work.
When you experience a collective trauma, somebody has to stop everybody and say, whoa, before we race off and
we move on,
before we just start printing money and pretend this never happened, which is what we've done, right?
Exactly.
And Bridget talked about, she went through a divorce, she had some loss, and so I'm just going to open a yoga studio.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just going to pretend this, and then that ends in ash. And all of us who have launched out of the last 6 months trying to pretend the last 2 years never happened and not collectively grieve what we lost. A million people, and we lost, people are dead, our friends, our family members have passed away. We've looked back and said, we shouldn't have done it like this. Will someone just say that, please? And we should have been, all that you have to process that together. You have to, otherwise you take off. You got I love that you said there's no oil in the engine. It'll go for another 150 miles, 200 miles, and you're gonna be all the people are gonna be straight on the side of the road, man. And I hate it. Own it, man. Stop and own what happened so that you can move forward.
Yeah. Well, societally, we're not gonna get anyone to own it at leadership because we don't have any leaders.
It's so embarrassing, man.
And
so embarrassing.
Societally, they're not going to own it. What Jocko says that a good leader should do is not going to happen. So given that that's not going to happen, each of us as individuals have got to own our part of it and go, oh, wait a minute, that did happen to me. Yeah. That did hurt. I was terrorized by my own government, by people who disagreed with me.
Yeah.
And if you believed one thing, the other side terrorized you. It didn't matter what it was you believed, right? Because the source of truth was there was no source of truth. Right. Anybody that claimed to be the source of truth was laughed at because they weren't the source of truth. E.g. Fauci, and so, has become the laughing stock of the whole thing. He was like the head of the circus, and so, but nobody's coming back and going, look, he was just wrong.
Yeah.
2 million people were not slated to die.
He never came up and said, hey, last 3 months I said this, I was inaccurate, we got new data, it's time to do this now. That never happened.
Never once.
And if I could pass along one piece of information after working with hurting people for so many years, and you too, if you're in leadership and you head down a road and you realize this isn't the right road, just stop and turn back to tell the folks, we're on the wrong road.
Keep your reverse gear in good working order.
That's such a gift to everybody. Yep. And it's not a matter of weakness or failure. It's a matter of strength, right? Yep. Just to say, hey, we got new data and it's time to do this now. And I had said this, but all of us, I think you're right. We can talk about that all day. What I have to do is look in the mirror. Me and my wife have had to have some acknowledgement.
We're not going to fix those goobers, okay? But what you and I do need to address for the listener right this second is that you can't go on as if nothing happened.
That's right, because it did.
Denial is not a river in Egypt.
That's right.
It's a real thing.
Yep.
And so you have got to say, this happened. I faced stuff I've never faced before. I've felt things I never felt before. I may have even done things I've never done before. And I'm not going to go back to the way it was until I put some gas back in my tank, and then it'll never really be back the way it was.
I got to build something new. That's right.
I'm going to lead not as if nothing happened. I'm going to lead out of this. I'm going to lead my life, and you are in control of leading your life if you're listening to us right now. So lead your own life. Leading your life is you are the leader, and so you have to use critical thinking skills. You have to say, emotionally, this hurt. Physically, I was scared for my life. There was, trauma with that, and the real world is that really happened. Now, is it debilitating for the rest of your life? Does it have to become the defining thing for your life? Absolutely not. It shouldn't be. But if you pretend like it didn't happen, you're going to turn to ash.
Everything around you will turn to ash. That's right. One of the most common questions I get is, where do I start? And I would say 95% of the time, there's a relationship or two that was significant to you that went away over the last couple of years. Either they said something, you said something, you felt the way, they felt the way, and that's where I would start. I would look over the course of the relationships that I burned or lost or got frustrated with over the last couple of years and say, is there some people in there I need to call and say, dude, 30 years isn't worth this over the last 2 years. Is there a conversation I need to have with my spouse and say, hey, man, we got sideways over the last 2 years, and I just put some stuff in the drawer. We need to just have a chit-chat. But are there relationships that I can begin to heal? And maybe there aren't. Maybe I need to then replace those that are gone.
Yeah, or it might just be you say, okay, I don't respect that person.
That's right. So we've moved on, but I've got to replace those with other people in my life, right?
Yeah, this person,
I saw new colors, and
I saw things about them that I don't want to be around.
That's right. But I can't use that as an excuse to do life by myself anymore, right? I got to go find new people.
That doesn't give you an excuse to not deal with you.
That's right.
Well, AP is reporting a record 31.5 million Americans plan to bet on this year's Super Bowl, according to estimates released Tuesday by the Gambling Industry's National Trade Group. They're so proud. The American Gaming Association forecasted over $7.6 billion will be wagered on pro football's championship game set for Sunday. Both the amount of people planning to bet, up 35% last year, and the estimated amount of money being bet, get this, up 78% from last year, are new records. Bettors include people making casual wagers with friends or relatives, entries into office pools, wagers with licensed sports books, and bets placed with illegal bookmakers. Americans have never been more interested in legal sports wagering, said Bill Miller, the president's group and CEO. Of course, he would say that. He's somewhat true. That's true, by the way. I think he's right. When the Los Angeles Rams and Cincinnati Bengals begin the game Sunday evening in the Rams' home stadium, 30 states plus Washington, D.C. will offer legal gambling.
I'm going to be honest. Give me a game of craps in Vegas. And I'm like, there's a level of entertainment there for me. I just have zero. I don't understand the sports gambling world. There's nothing entertaining in I guess there's like a social aspect. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Okay. Says the girl who likes to play craps.
I know, but for me, I'm like, there's this atmosphere. I don't know, something like about it. But when it just comes to sports gambling, I'm like, I'm going to Venmo money. I'm going to whatever. It's just, there's nothing. I just don't understand it. So for me,
I don't.
You don't get gambling, period.
I don't bet because I don't like to lose. I'm too cheap.
Yeah.
But but I think what happens is, even friends of mine, they'll make a friendly wager, not on money, but on something else. Like you have to wear the wrong jersey the next day or something like that. Sure. It just makes you cheer for your team
that much more
and hate the other team more or whatever.
Yeah,
that kind
you
of
have
stuff.
Skin in the game in a sense. Yeah.
But it makes you pay attention more. It's not just it's not just casual viewing. Then.
Right.
And then of course, the more you put on it, the more intense you get there. I suppose that would be the a reasonable theory by someone who doesn't do
We're
it.
probably the worst.
Yeah, we're the worst ones to comment on this. But what does occur to me is this: is that we have a student loan crisis in America.
Yeah.
But we have $7.6 billion being bet on a football game.
I mean, that's insane.
While somebody's kids aren't going to college.
Right.
And there'll be people that lose their homes over this. There'll be people that are, way over the edge. I mean, they've lost their minds. They're in a gambling addiction mode. And I don't know what the percentages are, but it's a problem. And so I don't know what percentage of this is casual $10 and $50 or $100 betting versus somebody betting $100,000 or $10,000 that is, they're betting their 401k or something on a football game.
Well, and it's bizarre how much it's gone up, though. I mean, 78% about the amount of money, because you think through.
Well, all you got to do is watch. If you've been watching football, it's that sports betting's gone up because every commercial is FanDuel and Caesar. And if I see Caesar one more time, I'm going to punch the guy. But it's a horrible commercial. But the
ads,
and if they're dropping that kind of money in that kind of venue on advertising, that means they're making
oh my
money.
Gosh. Oh,
so
man.
the gambling industry is really good at sucking you into gambling.
Yeah.
And the idea that you're betting money while you're broke, in debt, your kids don't have the college funded, and you got a car payment, that makes you look pretty stupid.
Yeah.
It makes you look pretty stupid. And so that means there's a whole bunch of people I'm listening to us right now. I just called them stupid. I really did. And they are. You are, if you're doing that.
Well,
you're not stupid, but your activity's stupid. This is a stupid idea. Just like it's a stupid idea to go buy a lotto ticket. And now you probably got a better actual probability of winning something here than you do with lotto, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
But not based on the fact that you're the world's best sports gambler.
Because I feel like our stance, or I'll just say my stance, is if you get to a point where you are gambling, there's such risk involved that you have to be at a point. It's almost to me even like a Bitcoin conversation. Like if you are completely debt free, you have your emergency fund, you're funding your retirement, you're funding kids' college, and you have a little small percentage of your world over here that you kind of
you're willing to lose.
That you're willing to lose. You could burn it and it doesn't affect you.
You're willing to lose it for the thrill.
And it's there, and that's where you're choosing to kind of entertain. Then at that point, it's kind of like
some people buy a boat. Some people buy whatever for the recreation, and this is recreational.
Sure.
Gaming at that point. But
the amount of money and the amount of people, 31.5 million Americans are betting.
That's like everybody.
It's just a lot. It's a lot, you guys. So where
$7.6 billion is wagered.
I wonder why too the money is so people are willing to spend more right now in life. Anything, I feel like, whether it's houses or cars or travel or food, like people are just, inflation too, but like people are just spending more. And there's still this effect of the pandemic, I swear, that 2020, you're all cooped up, 2021, you're still kind of walking on eggshells, but you're getting there. And it's almost like we hit 2022 and it's just like everyone's just screaming for normalcy again. And it's like all the pent up tension still is being released in life and part of it. And I'm like, I just wonder if that's part of it too. Like the amount of the 78% more being betted than last year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's a huge increase. Part of this, though, is the marketing and the advertising is driving it because they're talking people into betting that never would have thought of it before. The second thing is there's a real get-rich-quick vibe going on in America right now. And
yes, that's fair.
This is a sense of a shortcut. I'm looking for a shortcut. I'm looking for a shortcut. I'm looking for an easy money. And the ultimate in arrogance is thinking you're going to win. That you've got something figured out. You've got an edge. You've figured out the pattern. You've figured out how this is going to work.
Yeah.
And that's just so laughable.
Yeah.
That, I played the odds and I won the last 5 games. And so now I'm going to double down. That's just laughable. The sad thing is in the wake of this, there's two types of people playing. Ones that are going to lose everything. And I don't know what percentage that is, but we all know they're there. Mm-hmm. And with that kind of increase, you're going to see an increase in that ratio-wise, perception-wise. The next thing you're going to run into is that's a lot more, is that basically you have a lot of people who really don't have money to lose that are going to lose it. Meaning you lose $500 and you've got a car payment, you didn't have that money to lose.
Yep.
You lose $500 and you're still sitting with a student loan, or your kid's student loan is, or your kid's student college fund is not funded, then you don't have that money to lose, and you're gambling away your family's good, the prosperity of your family. Then, and that's, you don't have that money, and we know a large percentage of these people, even casual bettors, fall into that, and so it's just that there's some devastating numbers that come out of this. It's just
the
bizarre.
ripple effect of it.
I think the first time I saw this big time was when I was following the bankruptcy statistics so closely. This was 20 years ago. The number one county for bankruptcy filing in the United States at that time was Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee. And what happened was, and it had just erupted, it had just become that. It was the number 4 county or number 5 county before that, and it had become that. But it was tied to the fact that Tunica is just south of there, and the casinos had been put into Tunica, and a lot of lower income people out of Memphis were traveling down to Tunica and losing what they didn't even have to lose.
Yeah.
And so
same is true when Lotto gets placed into
happens with Lotto as well. Yeah.
The
but
scholarship.
we saw this direct correlation between the casino, the lower socioeconomic demographic, and now a bankruptcy statistic that is number 1 in the nation. And this is the kind of stuff, it's a pain statistic.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to see around this. It's just sad.